This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it, make a change today, and all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a good week. We got the Frenchies in, Axel and Leo, so you hear any strange snorting. It's not Josh off camera. Well, that's a pretty good Frenchie impression. So,
They
Axel
fart a
and
lot
Leo.
too.
Huh?
They fart a lot too.
You're blaming them. They do. Frenchies, there's plenty of good Instagrams on Frenchies. But they're cute, good personality, good dogs. Oh, I saw a thing, and I don't know, anything on the internet, but it had RFK ahead of the other two clowns.
I brought myself in just because. Really?
You couldn't help it.
I couldn't help it. It's like, where was this at? Because
It was on Twitter.
He is polling better than Biden for sure.
I think he's the hope for the country. I'm sorry. I don't care. I mean, I sent you a picture of a Trump AR the other day.
Yeah.
I was a fan up until COVID. I thought he handled COVID poorly, we'll say. I thought he could have done, I don't know what the heck convinced him not to keep a free and open society and support business and everything else. So he kind of lost me at COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't happy there, and he's not the perfect person, but whoever is perfect. And he's just too divisive. We're dividing. If he gets elected, we're into another 4 years of the liberals freaking hating him and it being a problem. I think RFK could, I've been saying, we need to unify this country. I think RFK is our greatest hope. I mean, I don't spend a ton of time in politics. I really, God, in my 20s, I listened to more Rush Limbaugh and different shows, and I've got just too much to go on, and I think that stresses out a lot of people. My wife got upset at me the other day. I'm like, I don't have time to think about this stuff.
Yeah.
And people don't want to think about what happens if we get hit with an EMP or there's a solar storm that knocks out everything. People don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Let alone they don't even want to think about the president.
Yeah.
And look at politics and
because it's so dirty. People are sick of it.
People are just, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of them. And they're both ridiculous. Biden and Trump are just ridiculous.
Remember in COVID when gyms were told they needed to shut down? I'm sure that really sat well with a lot of gym owners out there. I mean, it probably ticked a lot of people off, certainly.
I mean, business-wise, I was excited for the first week of COVID.
Explain. Yeah, go ahead. Explain that.
I went to Home Depot and I was like, all right, I'm going to paint the gym and nobody's in here.
Yeah.
Let's get some, stuff done. And then you're like, okay, it's going on another week. All right, what else can I do?
Another week.
Okay. But after that, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be crushing. I mean, politics is just that third rail, right? Nobody wants to touch it. Everybody thinks you're going to get shocked for it. And the answer is yes, that happens, right? I've lost friends over politics. I've lost, I dated someone. We had different political views, and that didn't work out. Politics can be divisive, but it's the thing that drives us. It's the thing that, when we wake up, we don't realize it, but we deal with it every day, right? All those laws, all those legislation that they create inside politics, those people that we put in power, in charge. It's a difficult thing. But if you don't get involved to some degree, then you get a bunch of jackasses in there that are just doing whatever, right?
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, you just want to be able to earn a living, go home, pay your taxes. We should pay a lot less of those, but that's a different show.
Let's not even talk about
let's not even get to that. But that's where it's at, and it's tax season. I mean, it's always tough. So I wasn't really going to try to go into that today, but you got right into politics.
No, that's you're trying to run my show again.
Yeah, because it was.
I know what we're going to talk about. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
You didn't even know what it was.
I don't. If you want to talk about it, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
We can talk.
I won't hold that back. I'll hold that back.
No, that's the show. But I think RFK could unify. We need to make a change. This country needs a change.
It's
I mean, the
every
whole
day.
political structure. We've hashed it out there. So I blamed Spotify for taking an episode off of Joe Rogan.
Oh,
I was wrong. We want to retract that here.
yeah. We
all
retract
our
statements.
million listeners. There is a great episode. At least I do, because I geek out on this stuff, and I think it's super interesting because we don't know crap. We don't know crap. We don't even know what the pyramids are. Like, we don't know.
No, and they're
We
so
don't know.
mysterious.
I mean, everything. So there is an episode 93, Billy Carson on the Sean Ryan Show. I think it's super interesting. Of course, a lot of he's like, this is what I think. I have no evidence, but he just goes on and on, from Mars to the pyramids to, what is that? We talked about it. The CIA.
Deep State, Illuminati, throwing them out here.
Essentially, my God, I'm blanking on the
It
word.
happens.
My goodness.
We trained hard.
We didn't train hard. It wasn't physically hard. The printer's acting up again. Thanks a lot, HP. Why don't you sponsor the show? Send us a new printer. Clairvoyant psychics.
Oh.
What do they call that? What's that other word? The CIA has that.
No. You mean remote viewing?
Remote viewing.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what we
Yeah, it
have.
was
on the
Project
show.
Stargate and Air Force is what it was.
So he goes on from that.
Yeah.
It's super interesting. I think it's really interesting. You've Rogan had on. I'm gonna mess up. I'm thinking of a guy that's a preacher that, but maybe they have the same name.
Yeah.
So he had that debate, the long-awaited debate that he put together. Graham Hancock and Flint Dibble.
The debate they had.
Graham Hancock show. I mean, I was just watching his show again because it's super interesting.
I love Graham.
What's the is it Ancient Apocalypse? I think in Turkey, there's that whole underground, like they think they can have like 30,000, and they've uncovered like hundreds of them. And they said if you did things that were just 2 levels deep, then there were hundreds, but there were things like 6, 9 stories deep,
Cut into solid rock.
and it's just so mind-boggling to me of like, who did this? We don't know, and who came in and moved in.
Yeah.
Just because you're living there didn't mean you
You
built
built
the
it.
house. So that episode, Graham Hancock and Flint Dibble, but then he just had on, Tucker Carlson.
stuff.
I talked about that. That was
Yeah.
great. I love Tucker. He had this guy on, Christopher Dunn, and he's talking about Giza, the Tesla connection, and his other book, Lost Technologies of Ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So great. I've been kind of nerding out on those 3
You're going to love it.
episodes. My wife I want to watch one of these shows on the History Channel, or anything like that. I love that stuff, and the pyramids, and we don't know.
Right. I've heard one guy saying that there was a mixture of 2 chemicals they would pour into the
Yes.
pyramids.
Yeah, Billy Carson's talking
And
about that.
that's got to be him. And then what it would do, it was producing some sort of like
Electrons.
and you're basically turning the pyramids into batteries, which were like giant Tesla coils.
Yeah.
And that's why you see those pictures of what look like light bulbs inside the pyramids when they were working on them, right?
Yeah.
Because there may have been an electric source, but the question is, what were they powering? And the pyramids look completely different, right? They were encapsulated in white granite stone with a golden top to it, right?
Yeah.
So, was it an antenna? What were they doing? It lies along ley lines across the planet. I mean, there was
all that stuff's
so
super
much.
interesting. The episode. I'm surprised Joe Rogan hasn't had that guy on, Billy Carson. That's why I thought that's because Joe loves that stuff.
Yeah.
But the Christopher Dunn, that's a really good episode, and he's had Graham Hancock on, 2 or 3 other times.
Yeah.
So
I've
they're
read
all
almost
they're
every
all
book.
good. I like that stuff. It's very interesting of what the heck's going on in this world and what's really the truth.
We
We
don't
don't
know.
know. We don't know.
I mean, everyone thinks that, according to evolution, humans have been on the planet for 4 to 5 million years. For at least what would turn into modern humans. But if the planet really is that old, and it's billions of years old, and we're intelligent enough that we just pop up in 5 million years, what happened to the 120 million years when dinosaurs ruled the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Was there another civilization? Were there people out there that were in flying vehicles? When you look at the Bhagavad Gita, that was the Indian Bible, and at least in the areas of Sri Lanka and India, there's green glass in those deserts, which is the same green glass that they produced during the atomic tests in the U.S. So the idea was to nuclear technology exist thousands of years ago. And if there was an apocalypse and everybody blew themselves up, we'd never remember any of it.
Yeah.
It would just disappear from the record. So where did we come from? What did we do? He hasn't even touched the Antarctica stuff. I've read every book by Graham Hancock, like every single one. And they are really good reads.
Yeah, I haven't read any of his books.
Start with The Sign and the Seal. It talks about Moses and the Exodus and the ties to, because he was like he was Thoth, meaning he was in charge of all the sciences. So when he left Egypt, he took all the science with him.
Yeah.
And they never talk, like that's never mentioned in the Bible, right? Because that's just not the purpose of it. So, of course, Pharaoh wouldn't want him to go. I mean, he was far too important. It's crazy.
I mean,
right?
there's so much lost history.
Yeah.
So much lost history. Yeah, you should give the Sean Ryan, Billy Carson. I think you'll like that because he just goes on and on.
Oh yeah.
About it. It's a good one. But that's my, and probably good with this one. Listen, I've been listening to Audible and podcasts at 1.2 speed.
It's just a little bit faster.
Just a little bit faster. You get through it sometimes.
Yeah.
We're here contemplating, going, this is what I think, and just speeds it up just a little bit in that conversation. So I enjoyed it, especially some audibles. Billy Carson I think he kind of talks fast. I was like, I should put it back to one to see, but sometimes it seems like he might be a little fast because he's just excited.
Yeah, he's passionate and he'll just get into it. But everything that we see, there are these weird things in the sky. We know it now. The government's dealing with it. Everyone's like, is it aliens? But what if it's not aliens? What if they've already been here, right? What if those ancient civilizations actually never left? They're just hiding. And if that's the case, that would it would change the entire course of history. Everything we know about evolution would be changed, right? Everything we know about written history could be changed in one night.
Yeah, and Billy Carson talks about DNA and how much information. I forget how many books. It was a insane amount of books, and I guess they've actually encoded DNA, and then took it back out. Like it's a store. Like now it's a hard drive for everything. So could the aliens have encoded? We supposedly have junk DNA that we don't know what it's doing.
Right.
Did the aliens embed?
Right.
And we just need to take that DNA out. Where they've gone? I don't think we're alone. And there's so many things that you could go down the path on. But, if you want to support the podcast, shop.rmsdf.com or shop.clearsky.com. You can get your Suck Less gear on the Clear Sky store. And there's some also on the RMSDF store. But you need a CERT training pistol. We've got a great discount there. There's a ton of different options and stuff and ways you can support the podcast, but also tell a friend or, hey, if you're out there listening, get into your local martial arts gym. They need your support. Yeah. I remember my martial arts instructor saying, we need your support. If you're not going to be here for just a month or 2 weeks, I need your support. If you don't pay, I might not be here. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me when I was 19. But teaching martial arts for 25 years, you need that support. We were just talking about COVID. We had a lot of good members that, supported and, even called like, hey, how are things doing? Look, I kept my membership going, but I'm going to move on. Kind of lost it or whatever. But they were, greatly appreciated for supporting us over COVID. Because there was a lot of people that just pulled the plug, and you expect things to be here, and that's this whole, giant corporations taking over, which I hate. I like mom and pop businesses. I like those old hardware stores that Home Depot and Lowe's have just taken out. It kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan. Is it nice that you can go in one giant, like it's all here, but I don't know. It was a little bit simpler time. Didn't seem like it then, but you got to wait a week for something to come in. Where
But it's
people are just so impatient these days, and
Yeah.
like with martial arts and fitness. But you know, you can support your local school, get in there,
Yeah.
help them out, and they probably need help.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm going, hey guys, tell a friend, bring a friend, talk about us. We need that word of mouth. And that's another great way to support your local gym, or if you're a member here at RMSDF in Castle Rock, tell a friend, bring a friend. You never know who's interested. And remember, you're usually more excited about it. Don't intimidate them. You know, people didn't start off that way. Advanced students or even intermediate or even basic students, once they get in there, they can sometimes intimidate their friend out of it. They don't realize that they're doing it. We've had a lot of members like, that sounds scary. Like, but it's not. It's a fun, welcoming place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the point of it, right? And that's, I mean, I was going to touch on this before, but...
See, I segued you.
I know. And you brought us into it. Because not only do you support your gym supports you, and you don't realize this, because when I first joined you, I had just lost a job, the highest paying job I ever had. And I was low. Scary low.
Scary low?
And you never think you're there, right?
Yeah.
But you called me.
But you contacted me.
But you called me back. And the day I felt lowest...
I know, people can't call.
But the day I felt lowest, you told me to come in, and you changed my life. I'm not kidding. I was low.
Yeah, you never know when somebody walks in. Yeah. And that's the reason to do it. Now Leo's going to come over and he's like, oh no, Josh is sad. Josh is sad. I am here. I'm a Frenchie, and that's what I do. I'm a lover.
It was tough.
Yeah, but what spurred you to contact me on that low? Where was it? You contacted me before or after you had lost the job?
It was after.
After, so you...
And after, and I was... Oof.
You're looking to channel your aggression on your boss.
Oh, I was depressed.
Yeah. But yeah, you reached out when you were depressed, looking for something.
And
yeah,
it
that's...
helped.
Calling people back. How many people can't respond to a text?
Yeah.
We get that all the time.
I'm not showing my face so no one can see me.
But
it was tough, man. I was low.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
It only took one class.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Well, I'm glad. That's what makes it all worth it, right? All the tough days, now, being in the back end and just how it is to get somebody into the door is so friggin' hard.
Oh, God, just come in.
And so many people are. They're intimidated, or maybe life sucks, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Martial arts and fitness can change you because it's just so good for you. It's just so good for your mental state.
1 million download show. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Keep talking?
No, you talk, not me.
I was going to give you crap of let's get to 1 million downloads so I can fire you.
But it was tough, man. I lost so much.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah, I can't. My dad's fired me, but then, he hired me back a little while later.
Yeah.
But being self-employed, it's a little different, but it's the same. Because when people aren't coming in and revenue's down, you're like, geez, what's going on here? And you're trying to figure out branding and marketing and all that stuff. It beats you up, right? Life beats you up. That's what I tell the little kids. If you think life is going to be easy, you've got to be a fighter. And that's, the mentality that we're trying to teach all of our students. You do these hard things and then it makes other things in your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're doing hard things, whatever it is, walking around the block might be hard for you. You did a hard thing. Good. It's all different for everybody.
In that first class, I hurt.
Oh my God, you're so sore.
My neck, just trying to do the sit-ups the first day.
Yeah.
And then the first thing I thought was, what am I doing? I don't belong here.
And you do. I mean, people
that was in
convince
my
themselves,
head.
right?
That
Yeah,
was
they
in my head.
convince themselves, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I'm slowing down the class.
Oh my gosh, that hit me too. And then
you're not. That's a good gym is going to support you
Yeah.
along the road.
Yeah.
Because we're not there.
And you did.
So, it's got to be a good experience. Because you don't know where, I don't know where this guy is coming from, that he just lost a huge thing and just at the bottom, and they walk into my gym. You don't know. That's why I always tell, you don't know where somebody's coming from and what their day was like. It's what my wife says, we're here to build you up, not beat you down. And there's a point, we're working out, we're trying to get you better.
Yeah.
But nobody should be harping on that person so much and beating them up. Come on, Josh, you suck.
I couldn't even afford it, but you convinced me.
Yeah. So, and then you convinced me to do a podcast, so then you just made all that money.
And that was actually the hardest part.
That's the hardest part, yeah. Because I'm a tough sell.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm a tough sell.
The first time I put a camera on you, too, I was like, well, if he's going to coach me, I'm going to coach him. Because you're a great martial artist, man. You are a fantastic
Being in front of the camera sucks.
It's the hardest thing that most people will do. There's more. I see more fear in people getting in front of a camera than going to a martial arts gym. Right? It's
just putting that, being out on camera and putting it out there. That's, don't read the comments, but
don't read.
God, when you first start, you do it, and you're putting stuff out there. I should have been doing it a ton earlier, but it's hard, and having that coach to help you along. I was doing it, but you didn't have anybody to direct you.
Yeah, because you can lean on your spouse, and you do. That's the point of them. But sometimes you need that other person.
Yeah, I mean, she's not helping me with filming.
Yeah. And
doing that stuff, and
I mean,
it's hard.
My wife gives me a ton of support. She's the greatest person ever, but it was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. Yeah, you got your little buddy Leo,
and he farts a lot. His farts stink like my farts. This is awful. This dog is farting over here, and it's not even funny. But you just don't know what you're gonna run into. And you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, when somebody walks, you don't know somebody else's. I mean, right? You don't know their journey until you've walked in their shoes. It's hard.
But now I got friends.
Yeah, it's a community, and everybody's here to help you get better. And when you start, the harder thing is just keep coming back. But people convince themselves otherwise, and you really do just suck. Just
do suck.
You suck. You're talking yourself out of it. You've got to be the person. It's the voice in your own head. You got to tell it to shut up.
Yeah.
I tell the little kids that you can't tell it to shut up. And it's your voice. You can tell it to shut up. Yeah. Get it out of your head. Tell it, I want to suck less. Go and do something. You're going to be better off for it. And it blows my mind because the amount of people and the state that they're in physically.
Yeah. That was the other part.
And their personal protection is not there. And, people just,
I mean, I thought I at least had good physical movement and stuff like that. But until you start trying to do a martial art, you don't realize that you just don't have the coordination. I don't have any of the skill I thought I had. Right?
Yeah.
And that was really eye-opening on that. But it made me want to get better.
Yeah, it's like what we did today. I did it also last night in Citizen Defender. Weapon in hand, and you fall.
Yeah.
How's your fall? Those aren't things that people are practicing. Definitely not in indoor ranges for the most part, unless they're doing maybe a special class. But what's the percentage of that, of you falling on your butt and being able to fall correctly, get back up and engage, even if they were getting close and they're coming in with a blade and the firearm's not doing what you thought it was going to do, and now you need to throw a front kick to kick them away or even move on the ground.
Yeah. And
you know, that's tough stuff.
And it goes bad so quickly. Like the gun stops working, or I drop it. Like everyone thinks that just having something on you is good enough, and it's not.
Yeah,
I got to know how to use it.
Yeah, we had a guy last night. I was like, hey, you know, just watch that trigger finger, and he said, yeah. I did in the last one. And I was waiting as the instructor not to harp on him or anything and just seeing if he'll figure it out. And hey, you know, when you're off the trigger and you feel like you need to kick them, get your trigger finger off, because when you kick, we tend to tighten up and flex, and now you squeezed off around and you got your leg out there.
And an errant round is scary.
Just trigger discipline. People don't do that stuff in the context that we do it at in our Citizen Defender program.
There's people that have the guns accidentally go off when they're doing nothing, right? It's called a unexpected discharge, or whatever they call it. So,
an unexpected discharge.
It is true. Like, people will have, like, there are plenty of stories where everyone's I had a discharge and I didn't mean to, right? But you learn those things here. And if you're having a problem with it discharging without training, you know, you need to get some training. You just need to. And we do that.
People don't train enough. They're not in shape. They eat like crap.
Yeah.
Big food companies trying to kill you. They're in cahoots with the and there's pharmaceutical companies.
And there's plenty of people to sit there that want to pull you down later. Like, why are you going and doing that? You know?
They suck. You suck. Like, tell that person to F off.
And it's like,
what a drag on society.
It's the
so many
crab
people are.
They're just pulling you back in. All the crabs are trying to pull each other back down. When all you got to do is start lifting each other up, and everybody gets out of there. Right?
Yeah, surround yourself with better people. Surround yourself with much better.
Visit RMSDF.com for when you need to be a badass and kick ass. RMSDF. Suck less.
Be a badass. I had that thing. Be a badass.
Be a badass.
Oh, that would be a lot of work. We could insert my Peaceful Warrior. I have a Peaceful Warrior upgrade promo.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. We can insert it in there. Like, we're professionals or something. Like, we know how to hit split.
You have to hire a professional for that.
Like, you can split the audio.
I guess I can do that.
We can actually, like, insert things versus just letting it roll. Yeah, so if you just had, like, what was that, 5 minutes of dead air and Frenchy sounds... Josh forgot to splice it in.
Because all I could hear
I think the podcast is over.
All I could hear was these guys
snorting.
Good.
And people love Frenchies.
They're actually really cute dogs, man.
Yeah, they've got a good temperament. They're good little guys. I mean,
they're nice.
I've seen a couple like little attack Frenchies, but I mean, come on, it's like the little kids coming after you.
Yeah, and sometimes when you hear them like howl and bark, it's like these things. You're like, is that really scary?
Yeah, you can get me fired up, but we won't do that.
Nah, let's not do that.
But be better. Yeah, I mean, we've got. It might be a little early, but we are going to be launching the suckless.co store. We joked around about the gummies and that stuff.
Yeah.
Finding somebody. We're going to have a whole line of suck less nutritional products coming out.
So get them.
So we can't get them yet.
Well, when the time comes, you need to get them.
Just a little heads up there. I mean, we still have our Prestige Labs. I think I've beta tested that stuff a ton, but we're working on our own line of supplements to try to help support this podcast so Josh can keep his job. We need more people in there. I need to put my daughter through
now for that one. Please buy it, y'all.
Please, y'all. Gotta put a daughter through college. Oh, goodness gracious. The stresses of the world.
Yeah.
It's much simpler. Chop wood, carry water. I'd be so much happier.
We have a hard enough time trying to get people to exercise. You think I'm going to chop wood?
Chop wood. That's a freaking good workout. Carry water. Good workout. You know, people, somebody in a class the other day, I don't want to do that because I'm not going to be good at it. I only want to do things that I'm good at. And we always want to be good at things.
Yeah.
But the suck less, embrace failure. If you don't enjoy it, it's one thing. Like, well, I think I'm going to suck at that. I'm going to suck at martial arts, so I want to be good. I'm not going to try it but you're not going to get good unless you try to do it. So how do you really know that you're going to suck at pickleball?
Well, if you only do things you're good at, you give yourself a sense of false confidence. Because you'll never be able to figure out the things that you don't know. So you would fail more often than you would succeed at that point. And I think it's a really interesting mentality because I try to do things I'm not good at because I know I can't do them. Right? And I have to practice them and practice them and practice them.
One way to get your left round kick up to par is to practice your left round kick. Well, I suck at it. I'm not going to do it.
And
it's just kind of interesting. It's the same of getting people in and convincing them, like, you're not going to be that great, and you're not going to look like a freaking supermodel after working out for a month, let alone a year.
Yeah.
You've just got to the results are in the long term.
Yeah. And
nobody, it's going to take so much effort.
Well,
but your body just sucks because you suck, and you're overweight, and everything else. You're eating like crap. You're putting crap into your body.
Yeah. And then it just turns into a vicious cycle.
To me, that feels like worse.
Yeah.
Than putting in the effort to feel good and be healthy.
Doing all the training and exercise with you, I've gotten to the point where I crave that sense of exhaustion when I'm done.
That's a great feeling.
It's a good feeling because now I know I can just fall asleep at night when I need to go to bed. I'm not wide awake. I put everything out that day, right, that I can do physically. And I sleep better. I feel better. I go home and then, I cook my own meals. It changes everything, right? Because it was just so easy just to sit there and get all gloomy and just stare at the wall and wait for nothing to happen, right? And then you eat like crap on top of it and, your mental health gets bad, your physical health gets bad, and it's a vicious cycle. You just stay in it, right?
Yeah, you don't realize how bad you really are.
Yeah. But you're comfortable.
And then the doctor says, hey, and it's when they say you got some issues.
Yeah.
You're pretty far down the road.
Yeah.
You're pretty far down the road.
But it's going to take longer to recover. And it's going to take longer for you to overcome all the easiness that you had. And if you had just put in a little bit of effort to exercise, just a little bit of effort, it has huge effects down the road.
Yeah. Just your mental state.
Yeah.
Your mental state.
I've talked about 99% of it.
Like, I'm way more depressed or tendencies if I'm not working out.
Yeah.
And the martial arts, I found that, and that changed me. I was like, in a funk. I was young, and maybe I didn't quite realize where you were, but definitely a little depressed, and and the martial arts changed. I felt great.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Yeah. It changed me.
Oh.
It got me motivated. You got me motivated.
Just trying to be a welcoming place is huge when you walk in. Yeah. And you can get a lot, and it's intimidating. Yeah. Walking into a gym.
So when I talk to customers and I say, it changed my life and it saved my life, I mean it.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you break down in tears, that should...
Let's not do that really again. Help. Let's not point that out.
That should help really convince them that you're not just some sleazeball.
Thank you for throwing me under the bus for that one.
You're trying to get out.
But I meant it, though. I really mean it.
It means a lot. It means a lot. I didn't know how low. You've never told me how low you actually were.
I never told anyone. And now you all know.
Now everybody knows. All our 5 listeners know.
It was low.
Yeah. I can't imagine. It would be like losing the gym.
Yeah. I lost a big show. I lost significant salary. I was making the best money I'd ever made. And then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. People, it gets hard. Even, hey, support the gym. We need members. People always freak out. They always go the worst. Like, oh my God, you're going out of business. Dude, I can keep this thing running. I could go out and work at Home Depot in between, like our big bulk. It's our afternoon stuff, but you could get another job.
Yeah.
I always have fallback plans, but
right.
It's just crazy that sometimes when people don't want to tell people, they don't want to share.
Yeah.
And that can be our biggest thing.
Yeah, let it out.
Word of mouth. Tell other people hey, this changed my life, where people don't want to. I wasn't that low. I was fine when I lost my job. I feel awesome about myself.
I'm happy for that person if that's the case, but...
Well, they weren't. They're full of shit.
Yeah.
That guy, they're full of shit.
The thing is that you can lose everything in a moment. But what I've learned here sticks with me. It was the biggest investment myself I ever made.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, what?
It's
I
still
mean, the
paying
same
off.
thing. Starting martial arts, look at the direction my life has gone, and you affect more people.
And all the people I get to meet, the support that I get from the other people, the learning, right? The constant learning, the critical thinking. There's going to be a lot of people who have kids who have never done critical thinking, and they won't experience it until they come into a martial art, because everything you do is a critical think. You put us in scenarios. Just being able to punch right, you're critically thinking through everything, and that's something missing with kids these days. So if you want critical thinking skills for your kids, bring them in.
Yeah, just the confidence for their kids.
That too.
Get them.
Yeah.
This world is going to beat them up, and the more you shelter them, the more you're creating. Look at freaking these kids out there.
Yeah.
Freaking out, needing their safe space and all this other crap. Or there's a great one. My wife just listened to it. It's on the Bad Therapy, Joe Rogan. I forget that woman's name, but we're talking about bad therapy, and the kids like, there's some chatter and people, all the hush talking is kind of setting off my whatever freaking thing condition the kid says he has, and the whole world's not going to change for you.
No, it's...
And we've got these kids that are just so... I don't know what.
It's
but they're not tough.
They're comfortable.
And they're looking for the easy route, and it's not always easy. We need people that are freaking strong.
Tough. I mean, when everything's given to you in life, you don't have to work for a thing. And a lot of these kids... Now, there's still a lot of kids out there who aren't given anything, right? Those are tough people usually when they come out. But there's plenty of kids who've never had it tough. There's plenty of kids who've never had to face adversity, you know? It's time to figure it out. Either they sink or swim in life. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot more sinkers than we have swimmers now. But the swimmers will rise to the top. You'll see them. And those are your future leaders, right? Every kid born is a potential future leader of something.
Yeah.
And how do you want your kids to be? Do you want them to be strong, or do you want them to just disappear into the fold? I mean, the choice is yours. The choice is theirs, ultimately, too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard being a parent.
Oh, gosh.
They don't want to come. You got to motivate them.
Yeah.
I hate that word, but you got to let them know classes tonight or tomorrow class, and you got to get them excited. Parenting freaking is hard, and geez. I think grandparents are probably the best. Like, they're the ones that should be actually having kids, but they have all that life experience. Yeah. We have kids, and we don't know we're trying to navigate it, and they're giving us a hard time. Those are kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I was a better parent and knew and read and listened to different things, and the more you learn, the better parent you are, because you're just trying to figure it out.
And what's sad is usually by the time you're a grandparent is when you're like, you kind of figured it out, but you've moved on.
And then your kids don't want to listen to you because they're my kids and times are different.
But it's the same thing. Everyone thinks it's different, but it's the same stuff, you know. It's always the same thing.
Parenting's hard, and getting the kid into class. I always tell parents, how hard is it? Do you work out? You know how hard it is to motivate yourself? You got to let the kids know, hey, classes tomorrow. Let's get geared up. Let's get excited.
Get your stuff ready. That's the first step.
Be ready.
Yeah.
And teaching them that discipline of where's your belt? Where are your MMA gloves?
Right.
Where's your uniform? The amount of kids sometimes that don't come to class with all their stuff. Are you prepared for work? Did you forget?
I know. I mean, it's a learning process, but if they get to the point later in life they're going to work without their laptop or just their general stuff to get their job done, they're not going to be employed long, right? I mean, that's what we teach you.
It really teaches them.
Yeah. And you're like a second
discipline
parent sometimes, right? Like, some of these kids will listen to their coach more than they listen to their own parents.
Yeah, or just backing up what the parents are trying to do, and they don't listen. So get your kid into a martial art. If you're here in Douglas County, check out RMSDF.com. All right, guys, we will see you guys next week. Again, check out RFK. If you haven't checked him out, give him a look, because I'm sorry, I don't have high hopes for the other two of unifying this country. It's about America. We need people unified, not separated. I'm sorry if you guys are Trump fans. I was. But I think he's just going to continue to divide the country. He's going to have to change. He's not going to do it. And, I'm not sure Biden knows where he's at. So, unfortunately, we're all getting older. Josh doesn't know where he's at because Leo just farted and he might be going out if the podcast breaks up there. Josh needs a gas mask. All right, guys, take care, train more, suck less.